Yes, that's me on a plane.
And yes, that's me on a plane. And that can really only mean one thing.
At the best time of year in Vancouver, we decided to skip town, but it's not as bad as it sounds.
No, it really isn't. In fact, our trip to Mexico was absolutely amazing. It was something both Shaheed and I have really wanted and needed for a long time.
That's for sure, just to get away, to unplug and relax, to rejuvenate for the cold Canadian winter that I'm sure will be here soon. Actually, we're right in it.
We landed in Nuevo Vallarta to warm colors and warm weather.
But before we get the fun started, I must tell you about the screw-up of the trip. My plan was to exchange only a small amount of money to pesos, but my simple math failed me, and we all ended up losing a lot more than I actually wanted to exchange in the first place.
Yep, I'm the one that's good at math. But before that, I needed to get a master's in sunbathing. So on our first day in Mexico, that's exactly what we did.
I'm vlogging.
Oh. Well then, hello!
As much as we wanted to relax, there's only so much sitting around a DevG can do.
We did end up spending a lot of time playing volleyball.
And when we weren't playing volleyball, we were either sightseeing or eating. There was a lot of that, hey Sheeba? Eating?
Hey, when did you take that?
Ha ha. Luckily we didn't end up with too much stormy weather, and even when it did storm, it turned out to be beautiful.
Yeah, the sights were really amazing. The first stop we made was probably Puerto Vallarta's most touristy spot, the boardwalk.
And the first stop we made when we got there was this pay-per-use washroom, guarded by what looked to be a 10-year-old girl who we definitely confused when we paid.
Next stop, shopping, of course.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, I guess because we expect to get these crazy good deals.
Yeah, we're Indian, and we're in a city where bargaining is the norm. Why not give it a shot, right?
Yeah, seems like Farhan was shot down here, though.
And then I went to the cashier and tried the other person and thought I got away with it. I'm like, $8, right? She's like, yeah. And then I said it again, $8. She's like, no, amigo. No, fixed price.
So back to the boardwalk. It really was a nice and scenic place. So scenic that I decided to get a little romantic.
Yeah, who knew you would actually hold my hand in public?
I love you that much.
Yeah, right. Try all for the camera.
Yeah, you might be right. And speaking of cameras, these two were all about Instagram on this trip. Farhan opened an account, but they did do a decent job at unplugging from most other social media. So tell me, what were you thinking at this very moment?
I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if he proposed right now?
Witness history here.
What was that?
We're gonna witness history here.
Please join me. Everybody gather around. All right, I must go on one knee. I will ask you for your hand in marriage, this one right here.
This one.
Will you marry me again?
Yes.
You will. Okay.
It's a nice setting.
All right.
Oh, don't even.
I wonder why I did that with an Indian accent. Really weird, but I had to prove a point. Now it's proof for all these Mexican men that you're taken. How's it taste?
Delicious.
Just like back home in
like
Africa?
Back home. I've never been to Africa.
Oh yeah, you're from India. You're from Africa?
I am.
How's it?
Delicious.
Do they have mango in Pakiland?
Yes, they do have mango in Pakistan.
Oh, sorry.
This is how I spend money. This is how I spend my money.
Oh,
Money well spent.
We did end up buying a lot more throughout the trip, mainly knickknacks.
Yeah, not these, although I was tempted.
Our temptations got the best of us again that day when we saw this Starbucks.
It was so hot that we had to get some cold drinks and a taste of home.
But luckily we had a gift card, so it was on the house.
And you know what? Starbucks runs a tight ship. Just like back home, they messed up the name for the order. We are henceforth known as Shaggy and Sheeba.
They could call me Scooby-Doo. I just needed to cool down, and that helped a lot. All in all, a good trip to the boardwalk.
Back at the hotel, this is pretty much the most of the pool we saw. We spent most of our time on the beach.
Yeah, couple versus couple beach volleyball got pretty intense. Some of us definitely needed to cool down after that, in more ways than one.
Wonder who you're talking about.
When we weren't walking or running on the beach, we were in the ocean becoming one with the waves.
And if I had to choose being something other than a human, I would be a wave.
What?
You know you're from the West Coast and you belong by the water when this kind of stuff right here just makes you the happiest you've ever been. The food at the resort was great, and it was even better when shared over a good conversation with an unexpected guest.
Yeah, your cousin Ellie, who we randomly met at the same hotel, was great company. Definitely added to the trip. Ah, and so did the massage. $35 for a full hour on the beach. That has to be the best bargain of the trip.
I can't argue there. Doesn't look like Sarah would argue either. Now, golf, on the other hand, was not a financial bargain, but it was still a good time, even though things like this happened.
I'm close.
Yeah, that was a really bad putt.
Hey, okay, fine. You're actually right. That was horrible. I did end up draining a couple long ones for par, which is what Farhan almost did here. And I did have a few really good drives. Not this kind of drive. This was bad. A bumpy one.
On the topic of bumpy rides, one of our final adventures had some of that.
That it did, but even though I was a tad nauseous on the ride there, this was the highlight of my trip.
Yes, you were talking about surfing a lot, but I have to hand it to you. The little town of Sayulita was a pretty cool place.
Pretty cool? Almost all their shops were surf themed. That was amazing. But we did go there to surf, not shop. My goal was to surf, but also to teach Farhan how to surf. Things didn't go quite well on either front at the beginning.
Yeah, I believe this is what they call a wipeout in surf lingo.
You've gotten really funny, haven't you? But yes, you are also very right. And there was a lot of that too. Not being right, but the wipeouts. Farhan did end up getting the hang of it. Same goes for you.
Yeah, I tried it for like 15 minutes, and this is as far as I got. I was pretty proud of myself.
All right! Next time, you stand up. As for me, once I got over my fear of deep water and swam out to where the big waves were and the people were not, I caught 3 gnarly waves, surfed them for about 10 seconds each, and all was right in the world. Except the fact that no one caught it on camera.
After surfing, it was time to hit the little town of Sayulita, mainly looking for 2 things.
The first being a men's tank top, for me. Yes.
And the second being lunch. And we scored on both items.
Yep, I found me a tank top and we found a real fish taco.
The massage may have been the highlight of my trip, but this was a close second.
Fresh mahi-mahi and shrimp cooked before your eyes just a stone's throw away from the water. A perfect way to end the day in the little surf and fishing town.
It was, except that I think we all put a little too much spicy sauce.
You ready? Oh, that is spicy.
It was a quiet ride back, and we knew full well when we got back to the hotel that we only had 1 full day left.
All of us wanted to relax, but there was one bucket item still on the list for Sarah.
A trip high in the sky over the beaches of Nuevo Vallarta.
Yes, and Sarah's special friend was a little nervous for her going up there.
But not too nervous to take pictures. Worth the money, worth the spend.
Totally worth every cent. Every single cent. I was so excited.
Did you pee your pants?
Almost. It's pretty close, but no, I held it together. Held it in.
Held it in.
Happy she's safe and sound?
I'm relieved. She's happy.
They say all good things must come to an end, and as much as I don't want to believe that, this one did. So Mexico is in the past, but the memories will last forever.
And I can't wait till the next adventure.